Have no fear, Chef Mac is here. With the current climate of the world and everybody's running a fucking muck and stocking up on groceries, preparing for the apocalypse, today I just want to keep it real simple, healthy, delicious, vegan and gluten-free. You know, those are my requirements for anything that I make. So today, pantry pasta is just so fitting considering the fact that no grocery store has any fucking pasta. Like, I went through a lot to try to find this pasta. Wait, let me show you the pasta. This is Tinkyada. I really like this brand. I like the elbow macaroni. I use the elbow macaroni when I make macaroni. And this is what I'm using to make alfredo today. So, pantry pasta is very fitting for the current climate of the world and the fact that I had to go to the bougiest fucking grocery store in LA to get this pasta because I knew they would have it, and that's why I went there. Whole Foods did not have, I'm talking about not one piece of spaghetti, nothing. No, y'all know stores is just out of everything. So today I'm making a pantry pasta, which is alfredo, which alfredo is traditionally not a pantry pasta because it's dairy, obviously, but the way I make it, it actually tastes just like alfredo. It's very delicious. It's so healthy and it's just so fucking good. Alfredo was one of my specialties before I went vegan. I would make alfredo on a weekly basis. I'm talking about all of the dairy, all of the Parmesan, the cream, the butter, the garlic, like everything. It was always just so good. So that's what I'm gonna make today. And I'm hungry and this is my breakfast, so let me get started right now. Okay, first things first. Of course I have water boiling already. This is gonna be for my pasta. Now, for this recipe, I love macadamia nuts, raw macadamia nuts. They are so fatty, so delicious. And you can also do this with raw cashews. Like, people always have some kind of nut in their pantry. I've only tried it with macadamia nuts and cashews raw, so I can only guarantee it with those. But yes, I love macadamia nuts. They're so fatty, so buttery, and just, it doesn't even taste like it's a nut-based sauce. It's so good. So for the nuts, I'm gonna do some of this water and let these soak while I cook the pasta. The entire recipe is, of course, on my Patreon, which is linked below. So I'm gonna let those soak about 10 minutes, I don't know. Now while that's soaking, I'm gonna boil my pasta. And no, you do not have to have a big ass commercial kitchen pot for the one serving of pasta. It's fine, it's just me. This is what I have, so I'm using it. That's literally the only cooking you gotta do for this recipe. I'm telling y'all, I worked to develop this recipe for so long because Alfredo is in my top favorite foods and it's so delicious, but it's so bad for you. So being able to have a vegan, gluten-free version that's also healthy, and I don't have to go buy a whole bunch of different kind of vegan cheeses and see what actually tastes good. Being able to make it with Whole Foods is just, oh, it's so good. So we got the nuts sitting in the hot water, softening up. We got the pasta boiling. Now, you need to get together the stuff to blend the sauce because we're gonna blend the macadamia nuts. You're gonna need some onion powder, some garlic powder, some apple cider vinegar, some lemon juice, some non-dairy milk. Did I say nutritional yeast? Yeah, that's pretty much it. Once the nuts soak, the pasta's done, you blend the sauce, put it together. It's really that easy. The thing that I found that was hard was the ratios of lemon juice to apple cider vinegar to nuts to milk to actually make it taste like Alfredo. Like, that was the balance that was very, very hard for me to find. And once I figured it out, I was like, yes, bitch, I can eat Alfredo all the time. So yeah, the full recipe is on my Patreon, link below. I tasted the pasta and it is cooked to al dente perfection. Look at this gluten-free pasta. I love Tinkyada. That is a really good brand. They got lasagna noodles. They got basically every kind of pasta you need. So now we're gonna drain this and just keep the show moving. Ooh. And please, 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 please For the love of pasta, please do not rinse your pasta after you boil it. Please. The starches help cling on to the sauce, and it's just so much better. Please don't rinse your pasta off. Unless you got like some weird gluten-free pasta that sometimes gets really goopy, you might have to rinse those off. But obviously, if you're using regular pasta, do not rinse it at all. And even this gluten-free brand of pasta, I don't rinse this one. All right, while our pasta is in the sink on standby, we're gonna blend up the sauce. I just drained the macadamia nuts because the sauce is done. So I had them soaking that whole time. So I'm gonna add the macadamia nuts to the blender. I got my salt, my nooch, all my spices in here. My lemon and my apple cider vinegar were already in here. So now I just got my non-dairy milk. Now, what I do for texture is I don't add all of my liquid at once. I add a little bit at a time and see how it goes, because when you add a little bit of liquid and blend something, when it's really thick, it'll blend completely smooth, nice and thick, versus if you put a bunch of liquid in something at once and the nuts are just bouncing around in the blender. So I like to start with a little bit of liquid, blend it completely smooth, and then slowly add in more liquid as it's blending to get the desired texture. You can always add more, but you can't never take it out. So I'm gonna add just like maybe a quarter of the milk, just a little bit. All right, let's blend. Something that I noticed that I have to do is make sure I scrape down the sides real good. Make sure I'm getting all of the nuts off the sides, especially if you're not making a lot of sauce and you're using a whole blender. It really bounces around when you're only making a little bit. Scrape all that down. Let's check this texture. Ooh, it's looking good. Nice and thick. All right, now I'm gonna add the rest of the liquid. Make sure I scrape down the sides, get everything in there. Try to get as much as possible off of the top. So heat it up, toss, and we through. Oh yeah. Turn the heat down a little bit. This is gonna get nice and thick, creamy. Now we're just gonna add the pasta. And of course, drop some like me. It's fine, everything's fine. And incorporate this pasta. You see how fast this meal comes together? Make sure you get all that sauce off the side. Little black pepper. I don't like to blend the black pepper in the sauce just because I don't want it to affect the color. Oh yeah. Let's get us a nice, good taste. I love guilt-free comfort food. Any of y'all that follow my food account on Instagram, y'all have seen this picture of this alfredo. Yes, this is that recipe. Guilt-free comfort food is my specialty because I grew up on all the comfort food. It's so good. Well, I'm about to eat this entire pan. I love you all. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Everything that's going on in the world right now is just a reminder that if you don't have your health, you don't have anything. And of course, as always, link to my online store at madebymashawn.com is below. If you want the full recipe, exact measurements, everything, that's on my Patreon link below. I worked hard on this recipe to develop it because the ingredients are so simple, but it's literally the exact ratios, the exact measurements to get that Alfredo flavor just right. Because I'm the type of person, I will never call a dish Alfredo if it don't taste like Alfredo. I will never call a dish macaroni if it don't taste like macaroni. That's just me. And as a chef, I pride myself in doing that. So yeah, I'm gonna eat this now. Love you all. Stay safe. Stay healthy.